Researchers in Southampton have discovered that a commonly available drug may be able to help treat esophageal cancer patients. The study, published today, suggests that drugs which are used to treat erectile disorders might be able to target the tumours which grow in the food pipe. Sarah Farmer reports.
I mean, this is a devastating disease and most people will die from this disease.
Esophageal cancer often goes unnoticed in the early stages, and once diagnosed, it's difficult to treat. But a new study conducted in Southampton, funded by Cancer Research UK, suggests that a widely available drug could help to treat the disease: Viagra.
So cancer cells don't exist in isolation, and in esophageal cancer they are surrounded or cloaked by a shield of cells called cancer-associated fibroblasts. And it's these cells that the Viagra and its analogues get at. So they shield the cancer from chemotherapy. They also shield the cancer from the body's own immune system. So they prevent immunotherapy from working. So if we can attack that shield, if we can remove it, we have better access to the cancer for chemotherapy and the immune system.
Terry Daly is one of the 9,500 people who are diagnosed with esophageal cancer in the UK every year. He visited his GP in Aldershot when he was struggling to swallow.
I'd be eating food and it got to a certain point and I couldn't swallow it and I had to regurgitate it and bring it back up.
When it was discovered, the cancer was at stage 2, so Terry underwent chemotherapy, followed by a 9.5-hour operation to remove the tumour. Post-surgery, he faced further complications.
And then I was in intensive care, an induced coma for 3 days, and in intensive care 13 days, going down for more ops.
But patients aren't always able to undergo operations like Terry.
About 2/3 of patients at the time of presentation already have disease that's spread and they cannot be cured. For the 1/3 that I might look after, where cure can be considered, we give chemotherapy, then they have an operation, and only about 15 to 20% of patients actually respond to that chemotherapy.
The next step in this research is to take the work from these labs to the clinical trial stage, testing it in patients alongside chemotherapy to see how effective it is. That move from bench to bedside could be as soon as 18 months' time.
Researchers say that the usual results of erectile disorder drugs require additional stimulation, so wouldn't impact the cancer patients.
We think people might get a bit of headache, they might get a bit of flushing, but we think that they're safe and we hope that they're effective with chemotherapy.
The symptoms of esophageal cancer are reflux and difficulties swallowing. Terry's urging people to take care of their well-being.
I never really drank in a pub. I used to drink indoors, and it'd get to the point where I'd sit there and have 7, 8 bottles a night, every night, and think nothing of it. But that was, I would imagine that was down to a lot of it, what started this off in the first place.
Terry's now undergoing chemotherapy and radiation therapy. He feels the medical developments which are on the horizon are incredibly promising.
Had that option been there for me to take it out at that time, get on that treatment at that time, then yeah, I would have taken it with both hands. The advances in that shrinking it, they may not have to be so intrusive in what they do.
Terry Daly ending that report by Sarah Farmer. Earlier, I spoke to Professor Tim Underwood, who we just saw in that report, and asked him to tell me more about the next steps for the study.
Well, we need to test this drug combination. This is the PDE5 inhibitor and chemotherapy together in the patients that I look after to make sure that it's safe and to see whether or not it's effective.
And how hopeful are you that that will be the case?
Cautiously optimistic. You'll be careful with research because it doesn't always translate from the laboratory straight to humans, but if this works, it could make a real difference for the people with esophageal cancer that I look after.
We heard in the report there that it's a dangerous disease that's really hard to spot. What are the signs of esophageal cancer?
Well, the most important warning sign is food sticking when someone eats. But really, we want to see people before that stage. So people who have persistent heartburn, that's heartburn, indigestion for 3 weeks or more, or if it changes over time, should see their GP and we can work out whether or not they should have an endoscope, a camera down, to check things out.
Why is it so dangerous?
Because we see it far too late, because once people have this sensation of food sticking, the cancer tends to have spread already. So about only 1/3 of patients that I see at the time they present are suitable for treatment with a cure in mind. For the other 2/3, their tumour has already spread and we can't cure them.
How reliant are you on funding for the research that you do?
Absolutely reliant. This work was funded by Cancer Research UK. People run marathons, they go to the shops, they rattle tins, and they do bakes. You know, we are absolutely reliant on every single penny and every single pound that CRUK raises to fund research like this.
Well, let's hope that that fundraising continues. Professor Tim Underwood, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to see how people's charity efforts can make such a difference.